If you and 8 other strangers were kidnapped and sealed inside of a house and forced to play a death game where only the last person standing would make it out alive, would you know how to survive? In this video, we're going to be going over the 2005 movie House of Nine and seeing if the characters could have made better decisions and ultimately survived the movie. Our movie begins when a woman among a group of sleepy people wakes up and she realizes that she's the only one awake, so she ventures outside the door and takes a peek into the hallway. There, she realizes that there's no one outside and that the hallway is completely empty. The woman then sees the front door and starts frantically trying to break out of the house, and she is not successful, so she goes to the windows, which is boarded up completely with bricks, and then she even travels downstairs, which is boarded up by even more bricks. She then goes into the hallway and has a panic attack, similar to how your teachers will have a panic attack if you chewed some gum or something like that. By the time she awakes from her slumber, she sees this pedophile looking old dude that looks kinda like a creepy uncle standing on top of her. Luckily, he's just a priest checking to see if she's awake, and she realizes that everyone inside the house is also awake. She's very lucky that among the groups of people there was never a murderer or anything like that, because she would have been an easy target if she was just passed out on the floor. So to prevent this, she should have done some breathing exercises to prevent the panic attack in the first place. Since everyone's now awake, the 9 people don't really know what's happening to each other, so they sort of just stand there awkwardly until a voice on the intercom comes on and explains their situation.
Welcome to the house. One of you here. One of you will win. And the one that wins will receive $5 million for his or her participation. I'm sure you've all seen the shows, but on my show, all you have to do to win this prize is to be the only one to walk out of this house alive.
So the rules to this death game are actually extremely simple compared to some of the other ones. All it is that you're being watched at all times, you can't communicate with the outside, and the last one standing gets to leave the house alive and wins $5 million. If you think about it, $5 million is a fuck ton of money, and you only have to kill a maximum of 8 people, considering that there's gonna be some other people killing people for you. So if you're the last one standing, you could hypothetically buy 41,000 straight years of Pornhub Premium if you wanted to with your $5 million. After the announcement was made, the entire group starts freaking the fuck out, not sure what to do. However, there's one guy that reveals himself to be a cop by whipping out his handgun immediately. If I were the cop in this situation, I would definitely not reveal to anyone that I had the gun, because if they know you have the gun, you immediately become a target, because that gun could win you the $5 million and make it so you're the last one living. On a side note, if the cop just took out the gun and shot everyone when they weren't paying attention, he could have also been the winner. I did some research into police pistols, and most of them have Glocks, and those Glocks definitely hold more than 8 rounds, so if he's accurate, he should be able to get rid of all of them without a problem. For some reason, all 9 people within the house, maybe because of a coping mechanism, decides that this is all just one big prank, and they were all kidnapped, gassed, and brought to this house just to be let out in a few hours, and that nothing was gonna happen to them. After sitting around for a long time and realizing that there's no help coming, the group decide they want to try to break out of the house. So everyone in the group picks up one part of the table and lifts it up to use it as a battering ram and smashes it against the front door in hopes of breaking it open. However, these idiots are holding the table in the wrong direction, so they're smashing it against the door rather than against the lock. What they should be doing is flipping the table so it's vertical and then smashing against the crease of the door. This way they could break through the lock rather than having to break through the entire door itself. And this entire time, there's this extremely posh lady that decides she doesn't want to help the group at all, and she just sits there smoking a cigarette. If I were any member of the group, I would just beat the shit out of her on the spot. Since the group's attempts with the table failed, they all scatter around the house looking for an exit. The cop finds a little hole in the ground and decides to start digging, however it doesn't lead them anywhere, so the group reassembles back in the lobby. And they come back to seeing that rich posh lady sitting there drinking some alcohol she found this entire time. Again, why isn't anyone beating the shit out of her or forcing her to work? Fortunately for the rich lady, I guess, no one beats her up, and the group just have a little talk in the middle of the lobby and decide what to do next, until they hear a loud banging noise. They all go downstairs to check, and they see in a little box that they've been delivered some chicken and some potatoes, which is nice, because at least they know that they have food in this situation. The group decide that they should be dividing up the chicken and potatoes so that everyone gets 1 piece of chicken and 1 potato. However, the black dude has other ideas, and he attempts to steal as much chicken as he possibly can. Luckily for the group, the cop is there to stop him. While everyone is enjoying their chicken and potatoes, there's a few interesting conversations that happen, mainly polite stuff that no one really cares about. The only thing I would like to point out though is the black dude is a self-proclaimed rapper, and he starts rapping towards the cop about how he and his friends want to kill police officers. I don't know if this guy just wants to die or something, but he should definitely not be doing this to the only dude that has a gun in the room. After eating, the group decide that it's time for bed. Since each room has 2 beds, they just use a system to randomly draft people into rooms. I would definitely not recommend the system, since what if you accidentally draft the cop and the black guy into the same room? Or 2 other people who might be in conflict with one another. They could fight within the room. That's definitely not what you want in this situation. So why not just let everyone choose where to sleep? Well, what do you know, none of the characters followed my instructions and they drafted 2 people who were in conflict into the room. They draft the rich lady and the poor drug addict together. And the drug addict finds the rich lady's nude photos, which sparks some conflict. Nothing else really happens between any of the other rooms, and people just sort of go to sleep. What any of these characters could have done is they could pretend to fall asleep, and by the time everyone is asleep, they could go grab the bottle that the rich lady was drinking from earlier, then break it, creating a sharp glass shard that they can use to stab everyone in the throat while they sleep. It's a pretty silent kill that you could do over and over again until you're the last one standing. Obviously, that would make the movie way too short, so good thing that doesn't happen. There was a little bit of action, however, because the police officer was attacked and someone tried to steal his gun while he was sleeping. Luckily, he's able to fight them off, but he isn't able to see who did it because it was dark in the room. The police officer, obviously angered at what happened, wakes everyone up and they all convene, trying to figure out who did it, and the black dude gets mad that he got accused. Maybe if he took his finger out of his asshole and stopped being such a dick all the time, he wouldn't be instantly accused by everyone. As tensions get higher, the police officer shoots 3 bullets into the wall to calm everyone down. What I don't understand is why did he have to waste the bullets? Just 1 shot would have done the trick as well. The group once again find themselves in the lobby looking for a solution. This is when they find the drug addict girl was on probation and she has an ankle monitor, so that means the police should come looking for her soon since they can track that thing. Later, the group hear a beeping noise on the other side of the door, so they think it's the police coming to look for them. They all bang and scream, and the police officer even shoots bullets in the air. However, the beeping just sort of goes away, and now they're all depressed and stressed out since they thought they were gonna escape, but they couldn't. But what better way to cope with your stress and depression by drinking your problems away? So the group find all the booze they possibly can, turn on some music, and start partying. You see, the problem with the entire group getting drunk is they're all gonna have significantly impaired decision making. If you're in a room full of high schoolers, this is not a problem. However, if you're in a room where everyone wants to kill each other for $5 million, I think this becomes a rather large problem. During the party, the rapper gets with the girl who already has a husband, and they're all touchy and flirty. However, her husband walks in at this awkward time and they get into a fight, which results in the rapper accidentally pushing the wife and killing her. The group have no choice other than to throw him in jail, since he literally just killed someone. The game maker obviously really enjoys that the group finally got someone killed, so he awards them with more food. The priest for some reason feels bad for the rapper and unlocks the door to bring him some food, but that only results in the rapper breaking out and killing the police officer with a pipe. And now the group's only peacekeeper and voice of reason is now dead. However, the police officer makes an idiot move with his final breath. He gives his gun to the priest, whose sympathy for other people literally got the police officer killed. And that's not to mention, I highly doubt the priest even knows how to shoot the gun. And you could tell the police officer made a mistake on who to give the gun to, because the priest literally has no authority even with the gun. You could tell because when the new batch of food arrives, everyone just takes however much they want, even when the priest says not to. So the priest and the drug addict lady are the last 2 people who are relatively peaceful and clear-headed. Everyone has stolen as much food as they can and run off. So these last 2 go and check in on the rapper, who they find have been hung inside his room. And finally, this is when we reach the breaking point of the movie where everyone decides it's now time to try to get the $5 million prize. We start off with the French dude cleverly walking up to the drug addict girl and seeing she's near some water, so he rips the hairdryer off the wall and electrocutes her. My only advice to the French dude as he killed the drug dealer lady is he should check to make sure that she's dead right here. Sometimes electrocution doesn't completely kill someone, so he could just go stomp on her head GTA style. At this point in the movie, the priest finally uses his gun to stop the American dude from continuing to steal food. I think this priest is a legit idiot because food is your lowest priority at this point. Not getting killed should be a much bigger priority. The rich girl attempts to persuade the American dude to help her in staying peaceful. However, the American dude was clearly not okay in the head and he has some alternative ideas. so he grabs his belt and attempts to strangle her. Luckily, the priest comes just in time and shoots the American guy in the head before she is strangled. This is legit the most useful thing the priest has done this entire movie. The priest's victory is short-lived, however, because the French guy comes and stabs him from behind. The French dude picks up the gun and executes the rich girl as well as the priest. This is a really good move by the French person's part, because if you really wanted to win this game, you cannot hesitate in killing other people, because then you yourself could become a target. But remember the thing I said about making sure the electrocuted girl is dead? Well, she's not dead. She actually woke up, so there's 2 remaining people, but the French guy thinks he's won the game. The girl that was electrocuted earlier definitely could have used this to her advantage and ambushed the French dude while he's celebrating on a table. However, she fucks it up by breaking part of the toilet, alerting the French dude to her location. This results in the French dude and her fighting, where she's trapped under a bed frame. She's able to stab his leg and escape to the lobby, where the French dude finds her and pushes her off a ledge. This results in the knife landing on the French dude's stomach, instantly killing him. The remaining survivor sees the door open as she walks out and claims her $5 million. However, the game is far from over. She comes to a room with many other people, also holding those $5 million bags, meaning there must be another round between the survivors of each House of 9. But hey, if you wanted to make it out of the first House of 9, now you know how you could have potentially beaten this death game. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more awesome how to beat and movie related videos, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more. I really appreciate the recent support, and this is Andrew from Obsessive Films signing out. Have a good rest of your day.